MrYorkieLoverFitness.com.
Poem by Wallace Stevens. It goes, I measure myself against the tallest tree, and I find that I am much taller, for I reach right up to the sky with my eye, and I reach to the shore of the sea with my ear. But nevertheless, I just like the way the ants crawl in and out of my shadow. And this guy I'm talking about would say to that, don't sweat the small stuff. They're only ants. I step on them. Well, that's him. He's done an incredible job of his life. Inspired by Joe, he took it to the max. Action hero movie star, one of the greatest bodybuilders of all time, Governor of California, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Thank you very much, Frank. A wonderful song. Very nice introduction.
You know, I wrote a song about Arnold too. I've already played it for him about 50 times. As a matter of fact, it was 1997, and we were at the Hyatt Capitol Square. And I walked in with my harmonica, and Dave Bob was playing there, and so we played the Arnold song.
That's right. Well, it's good to see you.
Thanks,
Thank you. Well, being the co-producer of this event, I want to say first of all thank you to Charlotte Parker for the great job. And I want to thank all of you for coming here today. Really to see this much enthusiasm and to see so many great friends of Joe, so many great legends in bodybuilding, so many champions, so many women and men, kids that turned up here. It's really fantastic. And I want to say also thank you to the great speakers here today. And even though they went sometimes double the time that they've promised, the 5-minute limit, but nevertheless, really moving, touching, and wonderful speeches. And so thank you to all the speakers today. It's great to be here today and to say a few words about Joe, and I will keep my 5 minutes. I have, of course, always said that America is the land of opportunity, and without America, I wouldn't have achieved all of the things that I've achieved. But the fact of the matter is, it was Joe Weider that actually got me to America in the first place. Now, I have not met Joe when I started getting influenced by Joe, which was at the age of 15 in 1962, when I saw a magazine in a store in Graz in Austria that sold American stuff. Equipment, gym clothes, jeans, all kinds of things, cowboy stuff, and also American magazines. One of them was the Joe Weider magazine, and on the cover was Reg Park in a Hercules pose. And I looked at the magazine, and this was at the time when I was full of energy and passion and a fire in the belly, and I wanted to go all out in life, and I wanted to be something special. They always said I was exposed to this magazine. And I bought that magazine and I started reading about Reg Park. Joe Weider did something so smart because he not only wrote about Reg Park, but he also put in there his whole life story and about how he became Mr. Universe through hard training. And he put in there the training principles that he has used. How many sets, how many reps, how much weight you lifted. And he gave us the blueprint and how to become another Reg Park. And how he then got, because of being Mr. Universe 3 times, how he got into movies, and how he made millions of dollars. He started a gymnasium empire down in South Africa. All of this was in the magazine, and I said to myself, this is the blueprint for my life. And I started following that. And I trained exactly the way it was in the magazine, and then of course I bought more Weider magazines. And that's the kind of impact that Joe Weider had then already before I had ever met him. I started in 1962. In 1967, 5 years later, at the age of 20, I became the youngest Mr. Universe ever. So that vision of Reg Park being on that cover, to then turning the dream that Joe has created for me, that I would have never had on my own. The dream that he created for me have turned into reality. And then Joe Weider invited me to come to the United States. And I came over here and I met the most generous person that anyone can meet. And he has helped me, he has paid for my apartment out here, he has given me a car, and he has got me the apartment, money, everything. So I was able to train out here with the champions. And year after year, I started winning more and more competitions, including the Mr. Olympia, Mr. World, Mr. International, Mr. Universe, all of this. And Joe was there every step of the way. Put me on the cover more times than any other bodybuilding champion. Some I think the other bodybuilders were always jealous. But they didn't understand that Joe looked at me like I was his son. As a matter of fact, one day we were sitting there and I was just about to say to Joe, Joe, I feel like you're like my dad. And he said to me, before I even considered it, he says, Arnold, let me tell you something. You're just like my son. I want to treat you like my son, I want to encourage you like my son. He says, as a matter of fact, I can go as far as saying, and I think Betty was sitting right there when he said, if I would have had 5 sons, they couldn't have been as good as you. That's the kind of compliments that he made. So I think it was really fantastic to meet someone like Joe who had a father figure, because my dad did not at all endorse any of the training that I did. And my mother went crazy when I was training like that. And I had pictures on the walls of Reg Park and of boxers and weightlifters and powerlifters. She called the doctor and she said, there's something wrong with my son. All of his friends that are 15 years old have pictures of women above their head. My son has pictures of naked men. Do you think there's something going wrong there? So she was very worried. So my parents didn't endorse any of that. I got a lot of love from them, but they did not like this weight training stuff. And then all of a sudden sit in front of a guy, Joe Weider, and to have him say, you are the greatest, you're smart, I want you to go to college, I want you to get an education, I want you to get a college degree, I want you to study business, I want you to get into the movie business, and all of this stuff, to have someone there to encourage you every single day. You know how that made me feel? I felt special. I felt like somebody. And of course, Andy Warhol did this great poster, Be Somebody with a Body. He painted that. I have that at home, the original. And that's exactly what Joe Weider did. He made everyone feel like there was somebody special. And even though when I was finished with bodybuilding, I said, I'm going to stop competing, I'm through with that phase, I don't want to go into movies, he was right there. When everyone said that you're never going to make it, you have an accent, no one ever became a leading man with an accent. Your overdeveloped body is never going to work. I mean, 20 years ago they did the Hercules movies. And then of course your name was Schwarzenegger or something like that. I mean, no one can pronounce that. Yeah, I can see already a billboard, Schwarzenegger, yeah, come and see this movie. Forget it, Arnold. And Joe Weider again was saying to me, he says, don't listen to the naysayers. He says, you will be a star. And he even went to New York to help me get a job in Hercules in New York. And he told them that I'm a German Shakespearean actor. But there is no such thing, you all know that. There's no German Shakespearean actor. But he convinced them and they hired me. But I was not allowed to speak one single word. Don't you talk. I will talk. So that's what we did, and I got the job. And since then, every single time I was doing a movie, he wrote stories about the movie, the storyline, pictures on the set, pictures of me training for the movie, cover after cover. He was there supporting me throughout the entire movie business. And let me tell you something, that when I announced to run for governor, guess who was the first one there in line for a fundraiser? Because you know, to run for governor costs $30 million, $40 million, sometimes $80 million. So somehow you have to raise that money. So Joe Weider and Betty Weider were the first ones in line And year after year, while I was governor, they contributed hundreds of thousands of dollars. Again, love, he encouraged me, even when I was down and when we lost the special election in 2005, he was there again. He says, remember, you failed, but you're not a failure because you won't quit. Only quitters are failures. He says, you are a winner. You're going to move on. You're going to get up. And that's the kind of encouragement that I've always had from him. So he has had such an unbelievable impact on me, but you would have to multiply that because I'm well known, so people know about my success. But there's so many millions and millions of people that you've heard already today, some of them that were affected by Joe and that were inspired by Joe. All around the world, you can go. As a matter of fact, Benny and I, we talked about it this morning. When I sat there, I saw this poster on the Great Wall of China of the Joe Weider principles. And I was over there promoting Special Olympics. When I was in the Middle East, they were in the military camps in Israel. I saw the posters of Joe Weider. When I went to Iraq to visit our troops twice, they were working out day and night when they came back from their missions, and they were reading Joe Weider magazines. When you go to Africa, there you see the Joe Weider magazines. You can go wherever you want, you see the Joe Weider magazines, because he said many years ago that one day we will make sure that there are more gymnasiums than the grocery stores and supermarkets. But let me tell you something, he was right, because right now, you can go anywhere you want to go in the world, to any hotel, and I guarantee you that they have a weight room there. They have a weight room no matter where you go. And every university today has a weight room. Every sports team has a weight room. There are weight rooms in the police stations, in the fire stations, even in the hospital where they used to criticize and say you get muscle up and it's terrible for your heart. There's weight training. Now they have weight resistance rooms for rehabilitation. So we see them everywhere. The Joe Weider revolution was successful, and it continues. Even Joe is gone, but we know that he will be in our memory. We will always know that he's there. And he has had such an unbelievable impact. And I have to tell you something, that Joe would not be where he is today if he wouldn't have had such an extraordinary wife. And I think that Albert touched on that just earlier, because that is a true love story. Betty and Joe Weider. In a few weeks from now, they would have celebrated the 53rd anniversary, wedding anniversary. And I saw them. When I first came to this company, I saw them together, how much they were in love, and how she was sitting there and helping him make decisions, business decisions. And she was always the one that pushed Joe, go and do something also for women. Oh, come on, Betty, what's wrong with you? And she kept at it, she kept at it. And then all of a sudden, we saw the explosion in fitness and bodybuilding for women. And the Shape magazine was basically because Betty kept insisting, let's go and create a magazine for women. So I saw them working together, being kind of business partners, and exchanging ideas, philosophical ideas, intellectual conversations that I have been part of many times. And also the most extraordinary thing that I've seen, and again something that Albert touched on, was the last few weeks when Joe was lying in a hospital. Now, I went in there many times, but let me tell you something, different hours. Sometimes at midnight, sometimes early in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon. There was never a time when Betty was not sitting there by his bed, holding his hand and talking to him. Even though there were moments where he was totally out, but she was holding his hand and talking to him. And I know that Joe knew that she was there, talking to him. The kind of dedication that I've seen in Betty was absolutely extraordinary. It really touched me deeply. And I realized, I always realized what a special woman she was and why Joe is in love with her. But when you see that, when someone is in such trouble and lies there, and then at the end is in a coma, and someone there to hold your hands and to talk to you all the time, and to meet with the doctors and the nurses and the caretakers, that was really extraordinary. Betty, my hat off to you. Let's give a big hand to Becky.
Check out MrYorkieLoverFitness.com for bonus videos not found anywhere else.